Hello again everyone, welcome back to another video on this wonderful platform we call the internet. And well, that video I mentioned a couple of videos ago is finally here. Good old Harman Smith being salty as per usual. This time over good old Black Myth WuKong. So yeah, this video is finally here. But I'm still not sort of really feeling like it, but I gotta do it eventually, and also got background gameplay to use up, so yeah, so we'll go through this. Not sure how much of it I'll go through, but we'll see. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get into it then, shall we?
Black Myth WuKong is an extremely AstroTurf title that nobody cares about, nobody's playing, nobody is buying. It is essentially the new POW world.
Classic Harman Smith with his quote-unquote claims. This time, of course, claiming that no one cares and no one's playing. Yet, funny enough, just on the Steam charts here, it is currently the second most played game on Steam, second only to Counter-Strike 2. And when it first came out, it had an all-time peak of almost 2.5 million players. And that's just on PC alone. So you can just imagine, combined with PC and PlayStation, and hopefully Xbox, just how many players there will be in total across all three platforms. So to say that no one's playing it, well, I've just presented proof that makes your entire point right there just fall flat on its fucking face. So yeah, once again, I don't really know what else to tell you.
The new Elden Ring, the new Baldur's Gate 3, right? This is the new strategy, at least for up-and-coming Western studios, is just to buy a bunch of bots, shill message boards, and try and push this narrative that this game has some kind of, like, the antithesis to Western video game development. Asian developers are aware that Western gamers are sick to death of DEI and woke culture and just the declining products of games, and are just leaning into that with their marketing, right? We saw that with Stellar Blade, which ended up bombing and only 1 million units sold. And we're seeing that with WuKong, where people are claiming that this is like one of the big success stories of the year, but when you're comparing it to something like POW World or Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate 3, like, you know how this is going to end. This thing is going to come out, it's going to be like obsessed over by weirdos online, and then it's immediately going to be forgotten about.
I'm pretty sure that just like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring, it's still going to be talked about 2+ years from now.
WuKong is so irrelevant that I don't have a single video making fun of it or its developers on this platform. And I probably should have addressed this when I realized that this was going to be an issue. Like, it's the same thing with POW World, right?
I'm willing to bet that when he means that was going to be an issue, that what he really means is that it's not going to be on Nintendo and people will be playing it on PlayStation and PC and instead of playing games on his precious little Nintendo.
I actually did get around to making a video about POW World before it came out, but like, it was the same kind of thing where I could see that people like Angry Joe were disproportionately focusing on this stupid game from a stupid developer in a Chinese country, right? You know, a country that cannot produce good video games because of their demographics and because of like how things are done there, right? Like, I saw Angry Joe shilling this game years and years back, and it dawned on me just how willing he was to ignore all of these far superior Nintendo games that were coming out around the same time in order to prop up this thing that wouldn't be out for another 3 or 4 years.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh my days. Oh, no one was focused on Nintendo at that at that time for just a few short days while a exciting new game was announced. Oh, poor thing. Oh, you poor thing. Oh man. Oh, do you want a hug? But in all seriousness, have you ever figured that maybe, well, the game trailer, the preview what came out and all that, and people went, oh, this looks interesting, just like with any other game. They watched it, realized how absolutely amazing it was, and then started expressing what they thought about and all that at the time. So, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that with some Nintendo games that are also being announced at the time, the same thing would have been with that. But at this time, it was Black Myth WuKong. And once again, and of course, even then, that the gameplay preview was so amazing, yet the developers still apologized that didn't perform as they expected, yet it still looked absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
Right. It was very similar to Cyberpunk 2077 in that way, where the length of time it would take for this game to come out, it doesn't make sense to get excited about it. It doesn't make sense to cover it. It doesn't make sense to care. Especially when you have way better games that already exist coming out on Nintendo platforms. And that is kind of the issue I have with like the anti-woke thing in general, because when you have something like Tears of the Kingdom, which has no woke elements at all, in fact, stripped away the elements that woke audiences latched onto in the first game. Like, when you have Tears of the Kingdom, which is so traditional, such a great innovator, like, so incredibly fun to play, you know, over 100 hours of gameplay, right? Tears of the Kingdom is one of the best games ever made, objectively. And yet, these same people that are worshipping something...
And I'm just gonna stop them right there. Now bringing up the whole anti-woke agenda, politics shit just killed the mood for me. I was willing to go on for a little bit longer, but I'm sorry guys, but that just killed it for me. I couldn't give two shits about that stuff. I don't care anymore. Once again, for those who know of a certain video that was recently about all that, I told both of them, the woke and anti-woke mobs, to go fuck themselves, and I've left it at that and never associated myself with those freak shows anymore, and I have no interest in that political shit on my channel anymore. So, yeah, and I know that also just killed the mood, so apologies if this didn't go for any longer, but yeah, that just killed the mood for me. At the end of the day, I'm a Need for Speed, Mortal Kombat and The Crew commentary channel, with some other games here and there, and that's honestly why I decided to just stop talking about all this shit, because that's all my channel is at the end of the day. Is this a Need for Speed, Mortal Kombat, The Crew, so on and so forth, commentary channel. And I don't really want this political shit to take over my mind and all that, so yeah, once again, that's why I told both of them to go and fuck off and die, and I'm not interested anymore, so yeah. So once again, apologies if this video got cut short and you were expecting it to go for a bit longer. I apologise, but I just don't want to have this shit anymore, so once again, that just killed my entire mood. And I've still got to work on more videos that will come later on, but I am having fun doing this, but once again, that just killed my mood to continue on with this shit, so yeah. So once again, in conclusion, as usual, Harman Smith is wrong, and just like with most other things, he's just pissy that it didn't come out on his precious little Nintendo Switch, on his little piece of cardboard, his cardboard box. So yeah. And if it does, well, it'll probably share the same fate as The Witcher 3, Arkham Knight, Wild Hunt, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Anyway though, thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.